Welcome everyone to Nintendo Game Talk. My name is Koloko and today I will be talking about the biggest game that's coming to the Switch this year that nobody's talking about. And that game is Arena of Valor. Now, before you guys comment, yes, I'm well aware what you're seeing before you is not Arena of Valor. It is in fact Dota 2, Defense of the Ancients 2. That is a PC game. So yes, I understand that. It's not Arena of Valor, but it is a MOBA as well. Now, for those Nintendo fans that don't know what a MOBA is, and there might be some of you out there because we've never had a MOBA on a Nintendo system, Arena of Valor will be the very first one. A MOBA, or Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, is usually a game played 5 versus 5. And it has to do, it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of a RPG, it's a little bit of a strategy game, an action game, even a sports game it could be compared to. It's a little bit of everything, and the point of it is you have to get to your opponent's base, destroy their base. There are towers in between. You have to knock down each tower, subsequent tower, to get to the base and destroy it. That's pretty much it. Now it gets a lot more complicated because you have heroes. They have special abilities. Each hero, you have weapons and armor that you buy for each hero, and you have it just goes into a lot of details. I definitely don't have time to explain it all here, but I just wanted to kind of give you a rundown of what it is and why it's such a big deal. Why it's such a big deal that we're finally going to get not only a MOBA, but specifically Arena of Valor on the Nintendo Switch. Now, a lot of you might be saying, like, I'm not interested in this Arena of Valor. I've never even heard, what it is. But let me just tell you a couple things about this game. Now, first of all, the publisher behind Arena of Valor is Tencent Games. Now, a lot of you might be saying, I think I might have heard that name, or maybe some of you have never heard of who Tencent is. Well, Tencent is not only the largest game publisher in the world, it is the largest company by far, video game company by far. Not only is it the largest, but it is the 10th largest company. This was, I think it was in 2017, 10th largest company in the world, period. And that's huge. I mean, that is up there with the likes of Apple, with Google. I mean, it is up there. If you ever heard of a little game called Fortnite, then you might have heard of Epic Games, which Tencent is the majority. I think that they own the majority of Epic Games, so they also own League of Legends. So that just gives you an example of how big this publisher is. It is the largest gaming publisher in the world, and they're going to be backing Arena of Valor exclusively on the Switch. And what I mean by exclusively is, obviously you can play this game right now, but you can only play it on a phone. You can only play it or on an iPad or a tablet. So it's only available on iOS and Android at the moment. Nintendo Switch will be the only console that you can play this game, and that is like the magnitude of this is enormous. And some of you might say, well, big whoop, what's the big deal? It's one game. It's one game that they can play, right now on phones, Well, that game is it says it was reported in 2017 that this game has over 80 million daily active players and 200 million monthly active players, and is both the world's highest grossing game as well as the most downloaded app globally. You know how huge this is. This is enormous. I mean, this game is coming out exclusive to the Nintendo Switch and not to anywhere else as far as consoles go. And I can't stress how important that is, because although it might not be as popular here in the United States, and it is pretty popular. I did get on Arena of Valor and I played a little bit of it, And I did, you know, every time I played, I usually ran into English speaking people. And I honestly could say I never had an issue connecting to a game. Every time I would log in, maybe 20 seconds and I was in. So I don't know how many, you know, millions of people have downloaded this game here in the United States, but I just gave you the numbers. I mean, you cannot argue with that. It's the biggest game that really no one is talking about. And it is also, it's worth to note that this is another free to play game. You can play this game completely without giving them any money, sort of like Fortnite. But I've never really, I mean, I played about 15 to 20 hours, and the way the game works is you start out with, you know, just a few heroes. And as you play the game, you get money and you can unlock heroes. And I've already unlocked a few heroes. I've only played 15 to 20 hours, and I have not in the slightest had an inclination to put any money in. And I'm usually okay with giving these free games throw them a few bucks, because if you give me entertainment for 10 or 15 hours, you know, you deserve a couple bucks. You really do. You entertain me for you know, few hours, and you deserve to get paid. If you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with thinking that way. A lot of people online, oh, I can't believe that you would pay money for this stuff. Hey man, there's people behind that game too. There's people that are developing that game that are putting time and effort. You like to play that game for free, yes, but you also want to show them that, hey, I like what you did, keep doing this, because I enjoyed it. If I didn't enjoy the game, I wouldn't give them any money. That's the thing. So anyways, back to Arena of Valor. So you could buy heroes, you know, and I've played 15-20 hours, hadn't had an inclination. It also is worth to note that there's DC heroes. It's not just their own made-up heroes that you know, their own original characters. There is DC comic heroes in this game. There's Batman, there's Flash, there's Wonder Woman, there's Joker. You can buy these heroes. I already bought, I believe, the Flash, and he's amazing. He's awesome to use. So that's another cool thing about this game. This game's amazing. I'm telling you right now, people are underestimating the fact that this game is coming to the Switch. And I will say right now that not only is this a huge release for the Switch, but this might be the biggest game for the Switch in 2018. And you guys right now are like, you are out of your mind. And I'll explain why. You got Pokemon coming out this year. You got Smash coming out this year. You had Fortnite coming out this year. And this is going to be the biggest game? Yes, I will say yes. This game is it's a phenomenon on mobile. It is the largest game on mobile, coming exclusively to Nintendo Switch as a console. And you might say, well, Fortnite is also a phenomenon. Yeah, that's a huge game, and it is. But you can play that game right now on another console. You can play it on the PS4. You can play it on the Xbox One. You cannot play Arena of Valor anywhere but on a mobile device. This is the first console, and not only is it just a console, it's also a handheld. So you're going to take that handheld aspect that you already enjoy Arena of Valor on, but now you're going to add traditional controls to it, which let me tell you, the 15-20 hours I played, I really enjoyed the game. But those touch controls are just awful. They're just awful. I cannot wait for the Switch release, because I really want to jump back into this game, but I've had enough of the touch controls. And I feel that this is going to add a lot of value to Arena of Valor, because some people don't like the touch controls, man. A lot of people don't. A lot of people do, but there's a lot of people that don't either. One final thing that I wanted to add here is the fact that this game is huge in Asia. In the Asian markets, Arena of Valor is gigantic. But you know what's not big in Asian countries like China? Consoles. Consoles have never sold well in China. It's been a problem. Even with such successful consoles as the PS4, when it comes to Chinese sales, they just don't do so well there. Well, who's the largest publisher in China? You guessed it, Tencent Games. And who's going to have a game on the Nintendo Switch pretty soon? You guessed it, Tencent Games. Don't you think that Tencent is going to make sure that their console release is a success? You better believe it. And don't be surprised if we start seeing a major boom in sales this year from China alone when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. And that is people underestimating that. But I'm looking at that. I'm taking note, because even when it comes to Korea, we had the Switch release in Korea this year, I believe, and it has been the most successful console release in Korea ever. Now, that was the initial release. I remember looking at that. I don't have the stuff in front of me now, but I remember seeing that specifically. I don't know how it's doing now. But that's just interesting to note that these countries, you know, that maybe consoles never really, you know, made a headway, never really sold a lot. Maybe now with the release of such a huge game and with the backing of such a huge publisher, that's also another factor that I'm throwing in there. So let's recap. We got the largest publisher backing this Nintendo release. We got Arena of Valor, the biggest mobile game coming to exclusive Nintendo console. We got the first MOBA ever on a Nintendo console. Those are the reasons I'm giving to say that this is going to be the largest game this year on the Nintendo Switch, making the biggest impact. So I'm not saying it's gonna, obviously it's not a game you buy, but it is going to make the biggest impact on the Nintendo Switch this year. Let me know if I am crazy, and let me know if you agree with me. I really do want to know. Just so comment below. And this is the part of the video where I thank you so much for sticking around and hearing what I had to say. And if you like this video, please, you know what you gotta do. Please help me out here. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and stick around for more Nintendo Game Talk.